Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, ladies. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, for the ones that do watch my channel. What's going on this morning? So, I wanted to just come and speak my mind. I think I'm going to be doing like little quick pre record videos on different topics that I want to talk about. Do a little video for like 25 minutes, 30 minutes on a topic and just like upload it. Okay. So I want to talk more about the Jasmine James case. And I know you see the picture, that the picture on the video and the thumbnail basically. So I wanted to get more in depth with the situation about her, because I didn't really do a lot of research, but I see that there's a lot of people that have been doing research on her, that have been digging, into her past, digging into her lifestyle. And, because a lot of people were, I guess, confused. They thought that she was a man, but she's not a man. From what I read in some articles, her sister says she has a daughter. So I don't believe she's a man. Because that's something that it happens a lot when it comes to black women or women that have black in them. If they don't look a certain way, if they don't have a certain phenotype, black women and black men will just assume that they are a man. And this is something that I've seen, the black community, they have fun with this. Like they'll be up here calling real women men. Black women have done this too. So, but they don't have any type of receipts. But there's just that they like to try to script you of your womanhood. You know what I'm saying? They try to script you of your femininity and your womanhood when they go around saying that, hey, you look like a man, when really you're a woman. So that lie has been debunked. She has a daughter, um, and she was a mother, 26 years old. So some people have been digging back into her Facebook and different things like that. And I've seen this on Instagram. Some people in the comments, black women in the comments also, saying that, oh, well, she was a prostitute, and something about she stole the guy money, or she didn't want to deal with the guy. And so he ran her down in the car, and, got out of the car and beat her to death. And see, I don't know anything about Texas. I've never been there. I don't know anything about Houston. But apparently, that area that she was murdered in by that Nigerian black male, um, apparently that side of town or that area of town or whatever is known for women walking the streets. Okay. And a lot of times when you see women that are walking the streets that deal with that's what you would call prostitution, because there's different levels of sex work. And for people that don't know people that are in the lifestyle, that have never been cool with a scripper or a sugar baby or a dominatrix or even an escort or somebody that's selling foot pics and, having conversations with men online on the phone, and they get paid to do this, webcams, phone sex, is different stages, is different levels to sex work. And I just don't think that people that don't have the knowledge should really be talking on sex work if they don't really know how it goes. Okay. Now everybody knows if you're gonna dibble dabble in some type of sex work, especially when you're dealing with people in person, like a prostitute is, I would classify that as like somebody that walk in the street and looking for Johns or whatever like that. Usually, these women do not use websites or anything like that. They don't have a screening process. They deal with pimps and stuff like that. And most of the time, if you see them walking the streets, they're addicted to drugs or alcohol. This is the truth, okay? Because there's different levels of sex work. Some sex workers, they're never on the street. They're never walking the corner. They're not going to do anything like that. They think that that is too dangerous, and that is just like desperate. Usually, when you have to walk the scroll, and walk the block, and men stopping you with their cars and stuff like that, usually you have hit rock bottom. Most of the time you have hit rock bottom, or you're, homeless, or you're addicted to some type of drugs. All sex workers are not homeless. All sex workers are not single. All sex workers are not addicted to drugs. That's something that needs to be clarified, because, like I tell you, it's different types of sex work. But people that live a vanilla lifestyle, they would not know any of that. They just go off of what they see. They just judge people off of, what they want to judge you by. A prostitution is illegal. Doing things on websites, OnlyFans, webcam, phone sex, that's not illegal. Okay, that's not illegal. OnlyFans, Instagram models, this is not illegal work. These women are making money from men. Okay, men, they play a part in sex work also. Sex workers will not be out here doing what they're doing, making the bread off of these men, getting to the bag and different things like that, if men didn't require their services. If men didn't want to deal with them, there won't be any such thing as a sex worker slash prostitution, because you guys don't know the difference. Okay, so me, knowing people that have done sugar babies. I used to be cool with the scripper years ago, but I moved, so I don't really see and talk to her anymore. But I don't think she does scripting anymore. But she's always been someone who would script at night. She would script a couple days on the weekend, and then she had a regular vanilla 9 to 5 job, like most of you black women do. Not all sex workers just sit and do sex work. You would be surprised how many sex workers are out here working a 9 to 5. Good jobs. And they still participate in getting this money from these men. Okay. Um, but today, like modern sex workers, like the day, sex work is different than it used to be. And sex work is probably one of the oldest jobs, one of the oldest money making jobs in this country, in the whole world, basically. Okay, there would be no sex worker if it wasn't these men. Sorry, there would be no sex workers if it wasn't for your husband, and if it wasn't for your boyfriends, and if it wasn't for your sons. There would be no sex workers. Okay, there would not be these women. There is a demand for this type of stuff. And so men are going to do it regardless. It's just, what gets me is that men and women, they have a way of trying to shame these women. They have a way of trying to shame them, try to, tell them what they do is not work. They don't have any morals. They're dumb. They're low class, and different things like that. That's what you're going to get out of most women. Black women also. To say that black women are like the group of women that have children out of wedlock the most, they are very judgmental when it comes to the sex work. They don't see them laying down having random babies out of wedlock without a condom. They don't see that as being a whore. You know what I'm saying? And to me, now I don't know about nobody else, that is just as whorish as everything everybody else is doing. But they don't believe that. They think that because they're birthing children into this world, they're doing such an amazing thing for the earth. They're doing such an amazing thing for the universe. So they don't see themselves as whores. Women who just just the fuck for a nut, or women who just want to give a man a nut, because that's what most women are doing. They're not getting satisfied when they have sex with these men. Okay? The men are the ones getting satisfied, and you're getting nothing out of the deal. And the situation with most black women, they don't get anything out of the deal for what they're doing. Okay? They're not even getting bills paid. Okay, let's just say that you don't want the man to leave the money on your nightstand, or you don't want the man to give you the money up front. Some of these women still ain't getting no bills paid. They still ain't got a man going down there to the rental agency or the light company, and going in there swiping them debit cards and paying their bills. A lot of women just have sex for the thrill. They have sex to satisfy men. They're not really getting satisfied. So a lot of these women don't get a damn thing out of the deal, and they still got to go bust their ass at a job, and they still ain't getting shit. And they laying down, having sex with these men, getting all sweaty and nasty, but not a damn thing. This is what the average woman does, okay? This is what the average woman does, but especially black women, because I think white women, they have a more, they have a better understanding that you don't just lay with the man and don't get anything out of the deal except a nut. And a lot of women are not even getting a nut out of the deal. Let's be real. But you have these group of women that, group of men and women that are very judgmental of sex workers. But I think that you have to understand that all sex workers did not come from a bad life, okay? All sex workers didn't come from a home where they were being molested or they were being beat on. A lot of sex workers are very educated. You would be surprised. Some of them even have degrees. Some of them work professional jobs. Now, one thing I can say about the average amount of sex workers, I would say from my observation, they're not really addicted to drugs. They're more like addicted to the money. People do not understand. Getting money as quickly as sex workers get it, it becomes very addictive. So you can say it's a money addiction that I will say that most sex workers have, regardless if you're a stripper, if you're an OnlyFans model, or your Instagram girl, or you're selling your pics, or you're selling your feet pics, or you're selling your nudes, you're selling your lingerie, your panties, your bras, or whatever. They even selling socks out here. Okay, so it's different levels to these things. And a lot of these women are not addicted to drugs. They're not, they didn't come from a broken house. They weren't molested as little girls. You would be surprised that a lot of women are more or less addicted to the money. There's nothing like more money. Okay? Yeah, you can go and get your own money. You can work and get that. But a lot of women look at it like, well, I can get my own money, I can work and get my own things, but I can get his money too. It's just that easy for some. Now, me personally, from looking at the lifestyle of the street walker, that is a very dangerous lifestyle. And usually, when you're doing street walking, you're hit rock bottom. You hit rock bottom. That's why you're out there. And a lot of times you're on drugs. So, there's been stories going around that Jasmine James was a street walker. She was a prostitute, and she was out there walking the strip somewhere in Houston, Texas, that is well known place for prostitutes. Okay, she apparently, from people digging into her lifestyle, her Facebook, you uncovered that she was a stripper. Looked like she dealt with mostly black men. Looked like mostly her clientele would be black men. And me personally, anyone that is in that business and they cater to black men, they are going to be broke and down at the bottom. Because black men are at the bottom. So any woman that's in that lifestyle, whether you're on OnlyFans or you do webcam, phone sex, a lot of these things you have no contact with these men. Okay? Because see, sex work has involved itself. You're not out there on the block. A lot of sex work is taking place online. You don't see these people, you don't know these people, you don't meet these people, and different things like that. You just get their money. Get their money throughout their debit card, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, or whatnot, Google Pay, and that's basically it. That's basically it. They don't meet these guys. It has totally changed for these women because a lot of them don't have to meet these men. Not saying that some of them don't meet their clients, but a lot of them, they do not have to meet these guys. It's that easy. These men are very gullible. A lot of them are very lonely. They're sick and tired of like not being satisfied at home, or they're not getting enough attention at home, or some of them are getting attention, but they're greedy. And I think a lot of women would be surprised that some men are okay with having multiple women. Like they will have a wife and they still want something on the side. This is just being honest. This is what most men do. Not all, but most men do this. And I would say a large proportion of the men collective, they do cheat on their wives and their girlfriends. They do. And if you was to talk to strippers, one of my friends was a stripper, and I know sugar babies online. I know women that's out here with getting the bag, and you know what I'm saying. I know what's going on, but I do know sugar babies. I do know some women that seek sugar daddies and deal with them accordingly. Um, so it's different levels to this. It doesn't mean that everyone that participates in sex work is sleeping with these men. Nowadays things have changed. Like when it deals with, like, people want to say like prostitution is illegal, but Instagram modeling, OnlyFans, phone sex, webcam porn stars, that's not illegal. That's legal work that these women have to pay taxes on. These women are not just doing this stuff and they're just, not have to pay the government. These women have to pay back taxes on all that money that they make. And some women make a lot of money on a monthly. Some of them can make anywhere from $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 a month. And they do not have to sleep with a soul. They don't have to go walk on the corner, walk up and down the block looking for crack or looking for drugs. That is the misconception that people have about sex workers. They would be surprised that a lot of these sex workers are on the job. They're on the job. They've been to college. They have degrees. Some of them are nurses. Some of them are different things. I'm telling you, you would be shocked. Some of them are in relationships. Some of them are married. That's another thing that people have a misconception about, that sex workers are not married, they're not in relationships, that nobody would want them. That is just not the case. Sorry, it's just not. Most of them prefer to be single because they don't want to have to deal with the commitment of being with the man and a man being upset. But a lot of these women, especially when it comes to that webcam and Instagram model and OnlyFans, because OnlyFans is not just about sex work. You can do different things on there. Okay, you can do different things, and because a lot now, a lot of women are selling their feet pics and they're selling their lingerie and they're selling different things, their panties, their socks to these men because some of these men are weirdos. Not all, and some of them have a kink and they like different things that they can't get at home. That they will never tell their wives. Okay, their wives are at home sleeping with them. They're paying the bills, but their wives are not really getting anything out them like that. But then here comes the woman, the mistress they have on the side, and she's getting all the money from your husband. And you're the one keeping up the house and you're cleaning up everything and you're sleeping with him, not getting any money in return. And this woman on the side, this sex worker, or it could be a mistress, because a mistress is different than a sex worker. To me, a mistress, they have like some type of relationship with the guy. You know what I'm saying? They tend to be like in a relationship with him for quite a while. They know him, they know his personal life and stuff like that. So they're not really a sex worker when it comes to what he thinks. They're like his second girlfriend. Okay, basically, they're like his other woman, his wife, and then his mistress, his wife, and then his girlfriend, pretty much. Um, but the whole thing about Jasmine James, sometimes when it comes to the black community, and black women are not innocent in this, they will go search through your life. They will take themselves all down your social media. Okay. And then they will take out what they want to take out about your life. Let's just say, okay, somebody was dibble dabbing in sex work like 10 years ago. You'll have people go through your social media and look at what you were doing 10 years ago. But they don't understand what you've been doing recently. They'll think that you're still doing that because they're so judgmental and this is the box that they want to put you in because they feel that they're better than you. There's a lot of women, vanilla women with these vanilla jobs that really believe that they're better than a sex worker. They're better than these women. They judge these women. They think these women are so low class because they refuse to just lay down with the fucking man and give him a nut and not get anything out of the equation. You don't get anything out of the situation. Just give him a nut, and that would make you more of a woman than a sex worker who's putting a price on it, or who's selling her nudes and who's selling her dirty panties. They think that they're different. And I hope that we need to understand that some of those women that dibble dabble in the lifestyle, in the sex work lifestyle, some of them did have a hard life. Some of them were molested. Some of them were forced into selling themselves or um, people selling them and their mothers neglecting them and their boyfriends coming in and out the house touching on the kids. Some of them do go through that. And I think we should be compassionate. And we are compassionate with all these single mothers that got all these damn kids all over the place that just kind of like sleep with men they don't really fucking know and raw dog them and have all these kids in the black community. If we can accept these women and we can bring these women into divestment or whatever you want to call it, sovereignty, if we can bring these women in, if it's something that we can share that make them say, hey, you know what, I want to be divested or I want to live a sovereign life or something like that, I think we should. Because if we're accepting black women that deal with black men, black women who got all these damn kids out of wedlock, if we're accepting them in the fold, then these women are more than welcome. That's what I'm saying. Like on my channel, I want all different types of black women. I just don't want vanilla black women that went to school for 8 years and got the husband and the kids. I want to talk to all different types of black women because I am very open minded to everybody's lifestyle. I like to get to know people to understand, what's going on and what's going on in the world or the things that black women are facing. So I want my channel to be open to those women also because I know that they are in this sector. I know that the sex workers are in this sector. They're just in the clouds because they've been ashamed to be put into the clouds, to be less than. Um, some sex work is low life. This is the truth. Some of it is low life, but some of it is really good money. And you're not even touching a soul. Like today and age, a lot of these women that's doing webcam, they're not touching a soul. And they're making way more money than some of you women that go and do on a 9 to 5. Make. And they're just on the camera. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their morals and everybody has their own moral compass. So I understand if you don't believe that that's a good thing for black women to do as far as glorize script club and scrippers and OnlyFans and Instagram and escorts. I understand that most of you do not want black women to glorify that. But if that's the case, you're gonna have to deal with the single mother shit too. Because being a single mother, all of us being these single mothers and different things like that, it makes us look like whores anyway. It just makes us look like dumb whores at the end of the day. But when most people see us that have all these kids out of wedlock, people are not thinking that we're some good woman and we have these morals and we're so pure and we're so classy. Majority of society are not looking at us like that. They're saying those women cannot keep their legs closed. They like having sex unprotected. They just like to have sex, have sex. So that's what most people would think of us. So if we don't want single mothers to feel that way and different black women with different backgrounds that come from a scripper lifestyle, let's say, my friend, she was a scripper and she would script and she worked a 9 to 5. She keep those situations separated. She would work a 9 to 5 and she would script. She had big girl bills. Okay. And when you got big girl bills and you got kids and stuff that you're taking care of on your own, sometimes you will do extra things to get extra money. But my advice is to always be safe. Okay. No matter what you do in life, make sure you're always safe. Make sure you have a screening process. You have a way to protect your identity, your location, and different things like that. But I'm not going to really, shun those women because those women have been pushed into the darkness. And a lot of times they want to share their story, but they don't want to share their stories with judgmental vanilla women who think that they're better than them. They can really get out here and break down men very well to you. But you women that are so uppity and so like, I would never do things like that. You women will never understand the mindset of most men because you don't take the time to really open yourself up to women that may come from the dark side. She may have something to tell you. They really have a lot of knowledge, but they have been shunned to be in the dark. Okay. And so I don't think they ever step out and they ever talk about what's going on with them. They are in these BWE spaces. Okay, there's some sex workers in these BWE spaces that do not share their story because they're being, ashamed to share it. They're being talked about like trash. Okay? Just because she's a stripper, they'll talk about how her hair is, how her makeup is. Oh, she's all dirty and she's all scrungy. Now she's a prostitute. This is what's been said about Jasmine James, that she was raggedy, you know, uh, uh, you know, like disgusting looking, bad makeup, bad wig, bad clothing, or whatnot. But then you can go into the projects where there's poverty, and you will see black women that do not sell any ass look just as horrible as people are saying that Jasmine James look. Okay, it has a lot to do with poverty, and it has a lot to do with connecting yourself to black men. That's why a lot of black women look the way that they look, because they are surrounded in poverty and in the ghetto and around black males. So maybe Jasmine James was like a sex worker, or what I'm saying, people say like a street walker. Maybe she was, but you can go right now in the projects and see black women look just as tore up, wig all fucked up, makeup all fucked up, tattoos all over the place, looking bad, and they have not sold one piece of ass, but they look as just as bad as they say that Jasmine James look. Okay? When you deal with black men and you surround yourself with black men in that ghetto ass culture, Blackistan, you're gonna look bad. Period. You're gonna look bad. So anybody that entertains black men in as that are sex workers, they usually do very bad. Okay? They usually do very bad. When your clientele is black male, you not getting no money. You're not getting shit. You're not really getting no money. You're getting chump change. You don't have a reliable clientele when you're dealing with black men. Plus, you're putting yourself in danger because they like to assault these women, rob these women, throw these women into sex traffic, and murder these women. And then sometimes I see people try to blame sex workers for sex trafficking. And a lot of times, these sex workers are adults. They're 18 years and older. They range from all ages, all the way to 18. You can find sex workers that are in their 40s and 50s. They range from, 18 and up. There's different age ranges. You would be quite surprised how many older women in their 40s and 50s is in some type of sex work, like phone sex or webcam, where they don't have any interaction with men outside of the web. Okay? A lot of women don't have interaction with these men. It's not hard to get these men money. Okay? Most of the time you just gotta look good. You just gotta show up, and you just gotta look good. And you gotta have a good personality most of the time. And you have to deal with a certain clientele that's you're shooting for, that's where you're geared at. But for people to judge her, and then you see some people, even some black women, getting out here saying that, oh, she was a prostitute, oh well, that's what she deserves. She wanted to play with the lifestyle, that's what she get. So that's just, to me, that's not a good reason why somebody should take her out. Just because she was like walking up and down the street at 2 o'clock in the morning, and people are saying she's a prostitute or whatnot. um Just because she was walking up and down the street at 2 o'clock in the morning doesn't mean that somebody deserves to be ran over and beaten like an animal. Beaten by an animal, a Nigerian animal at that. Nigerian black male animal. Run this woman over like he was somewhere back in Africa somewhere, and just like, I heard the dude say spare her. He spared the women. He didn't even say beat her. He said spare her. I don't know. I don't know why he did that. It still doesn't justify these men doing that. If that's the case, then it's okay for them to go around and be killing innocent black women that work a vanilla job, that work a 9 to 5. They killed them too. They killed all of us. Okay, it doesn't matter if you got an 8 year, you've been to college 8 years, or this chick only got an associate's degree and she's a phone sex operator, or she's an OnlyFans model. It doesn't matter. They don't care about any of us. So the ones of you who think that you're better than these women, these niggas will take your ass out too. Now, putting yourself around black men when you're dealing with sex work is very dangerous. I would not encourage anybody to do it. I'm not going to tell women they can't do sex work, because some of these women are not even touching these men. Okay, Okay, some of these women don't even have to touch these men. They don't have to go nowhere with them. They don't have to meet up with them. Nothing to clean out his pocket. Some of these men that have money, they are willing to let you drain and clean their pockets out because they just feel that they are not man enough, and they feel that they don't deserve nothing but you draining their fucking wallets. You don't have to meet up with them to do that. Okay, but some sex work is dangerous. Like, scripting and stuff like that. I don't got nothing against that, but I can never see myself doing that. Okay, I can never see myself scripting. I can never see myself like on the corner walking down the block. Okay, but some of these women that's doing webcams and stuff like that, I'm not going to really beat these women up because these women are not doing anything but they're on a camera. You know what I'm saying? Or they're on the phone. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to really knock them, but I just wish that black women would have compassion for black women that come from the other side, from the dark side. I wish that black women that's more vanilla would have more compassion. I really do. Nothing justify anybody taking your life. And just because you're in that lifestyle doesn't mean you're a horrible person. Doesn't mean you're on drugs. Doesn't mean you came from a broken home. You would be surprised some of these women that did not even come from broken homes. They just like the easy money. They like the money. And so if it's an easy way to make money, a lot of them just do it. But it can be, everything has a bad side and everything, has a good side. There's a good and a bad of everything you do in life. But I want black women to know no matter what you do in life, no matter how some black women justify and make fun of what you do in your lifestyle and what you do to get money to pay your bills where you're not homeless on the street and you are taken care of. Some black women don't have a family. Some black women come out of foster care system. They come out of the system at 18 and they're just thrown out there. Some black women are divested and far away from their families, so they have to take care of themselves. And sometimes when you have to take care of yourself and make sure you keep a roof over your head, sometimes you have to do desperate things. So I'm not the one to judge because I know some of these women. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with some sugar babies. All right. I know a dominatrix. I've been cool with the scripper years ago, though. I haven't seen her in quite a while now. But she used to do scripting on the weekend and then she still worked the 9 to 5. So, these women that are online, a lot of these Instagram, OnlyFans models, webcams, they're paying taxes. So how dare you try to get up here and judge them and tell them what you do is not work? If the government is taking my money, taking taxes out of my money, I am working just like you. It's just that I'm working differently, but I'm working. So they be trying to make these women feel bad, but these women are paying taxes. When you got some people that's laying up on the government. And some of these women are paying taxes. Not the case for all of them. There is a dark side to everything you do in life. There's a good and a bad. There's a good and a bad. Now, I wouldn't encourage young girls to be involved. I would encourage young girls to go to school, get their education, get their career going, get the jobs going, make sure they get their own place, their own car. Because some of these black girls do not have a father. They do not come from a home where they're financially stable. They have to get out here and get the money the best way they know how. Some black girls have to pay their own way to go through college. They have to work jobs and all that on their own because some of their mothers are sorry as fuck. Some of their mothers care more about men than they care about their daughters. So some girls get lost out here. I am not going to knock a woman for trying to keep a roof on her head. I am not going to judge her for trying to pay her bills, especially when she has nobody in her corner. I'm not going to do that. Okay, you would be shocked that a lot of these sex workers are in relationships and are married. Okay, sometimes their husbands and their boyfriends participate in some of these things, or they help them financially, or with different things that they have to do as far as like videos and pictures and stuff. A lot of times their spouses are helping them. They see it as easy money to get out of men that are so gullible and so dumb, that want some attention, that want you to take their money. You wouldn't believe how many men are begging you to take their damn money. They're begging you. You don't even have to take the money. They're throwing the money after you. They're throwing the money after you on you. You don't have to beg. You don't have to put like cuff them up and take them out just to get their money. No, it's not like that. Some men want to give up their money. They feel like they're doing something in life if they can help you. Make sure you're okay. Make sure you're provided for. Make sure you have a place to stay and your bills are paid. And you got a car to drive, food in your refrigerator, and things like that. Some men want to be used. So I'm not going to judge those women for the men who want to be used. But like I said, it's good and bad. And I would not encourage young girls. But if a woman becomes an adult and she makes the decision that she makes, that is up to her. I just hope and pray that she does not get on drugs or anything and involve herself with a pimp or these dangerous ass apes or these crazy ass men. Because there are crazy men of all races, okay? But black males, those apes are crazy. When it comes to that lifestyle, they're deranged. That's why a lot of women in that lifestyle say no black men. They don't want to deal with them. They don't want them around them. Okay, they don't want to go nowhere to meet them. They don't want to get in their car. And a lot of times black men stalk these women. They stalk sex workers. They're infatuated with sex workers. You guys would not believe how many black males, how many of those apes and other races of men too are on those websites. They are paying these things to view this content. Nobody's forcing these people to do it. They're doing it on their own. So there would be no prostitutes. There would be no webcam escorts, OnlyFans, Instagram, phone sex, porn stars. There would be none of this if it wasn't for men. Okay? So if you're going to be really mad, if you're going to try to shame the women for supplying what these men are asking for, then you need to be talking about the men also, because there would be no sex workers if there weren't a demand for the work. And you don't even have to take off your clothes in some situations. You have people out here selling feet pics, okay? People out here selling their panties, lingerie, selling their shoes, selling their bras, selling whatever these men ask for, okay? And they're not even sleeping with them. They're not showing their bodies. They're not nude. It's not really hard. But I would not encourage it for the young girls, okay? Now, when you become an adult and you now live life a little bit and then that's what you choose to do, then I'm not going to knock you, okay? I just, you just need to know that there's good and bad in everything you do. And if you really care about people in your life, then you have to do everything to protect them from that lifestyle that you're living. And not really living, but you're doing it as a job. Because once they turn off the cameras and close those laptops down at the end of the day, once they turn those cameras off, they go right back to living a regular life, just like me and you. You would not be able to tell out in public who's a sex worker. Okay, they come in all races. White women dominate the sex industry. They dominate the adult industry. They dominate it. And white women don't have a problem with putting a price on it. They just don't. They're not going to be sleeping with no man and not getting anything out of the deal. That's why they're able to get married. That's why they're able to get wealth off of these men, because they don't think like how black women think. White women, they're ruthless when it comes to getting the bag. They're going to get it, whether they're getting it in marriage or whether they're going to get it with sex work. They're going to get the bag. And white men will tell you that white women are about their bag. Black women are not really about their bag. They're about satisfying black men. They're about satisfying men, getting men to get a nut, making them happy, taking kids, paying the bills, going 50-50. That's what black women consist of. Laying down, having whole human beings with men, not having protected sex, having babies out of wedlock. This is normal for them. But when it comes to sex work, oh, no, 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 that's bad. That's bad over there. But it's okay for these women to lay down and have human beings for men that they don't really fucking know, just to get some government assistance. Okay, because I've come in contact with black women that have told me to have children just so I can get Section 8 and food stamps. And these weren't young black women. These were women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s that have told me this over the years, to get pregnant on purpose so I can get shit out the government like they did. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not having no child just to get no help from the government. I'm just not going to do that. I will work and I will get my money. And that's just how it goes. But you're not going to be able to tell these sex workers. So I wish that people have a little bit more compassion, a little bit more empathy. Just because you're a sex worker doesn't mean that somebody deserves to murder you, take your life. You don't get to justify what a woman is doing 7, 8, 10 years ago and justify, okay, well, this is why she got killed today. Okay, that's why I don't really care for when people go digging into your Facebook and stuff like that, because they'll go dig and they'll find whatever they want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But they're not going to tell you what currently is going on. They're not going to take you to the current dates. They're going to go all the way back there 8, 9, 10 years ago. So I understand when people get the digging in your Facebook and stuff like that. I think people need to leave people's social medias alone. Now, because she passed away, and everybody want to know the background of what she came from, because there were a lot of rumors going around. I am glad that people clarify it. But now that we know that she was a sex worker, allegedly a sex worker, that doesn't change the point. That doesn't change what happened to her. That doesn't justify her being dragged by black women while she's after her death. It doesn't justify that. Like, you need to have a little bit of class, and you claim to be so classy. Like these vanilla women who would never do these such a thing, they claim to be so classy, but down deep down they're not classy. Because if you're out here having sex and you're not married, then you're no better than nobody else. When it comes to the Bible, when it comes to the Bible, then you're no better than nobody else. If you're out here having sex, fornicating, and you're not married, you're no better than the next chick. Some of you really believe that you're perfect and you're just not. And so I just wanted to make that video to say that I hope that Jasmine James rests in peace. The way that she passed away was horrific. I do not wish that on any black woman. I don't care if you come from a vanilla lifestyle, or if you're a sex worker, or if you're a phone sex operator, webcam, OnlyFans, porn star, escort. I don't care. You do not deserve that. And I do speak for those women from different backgrounds. I don't judge them. I've been around a lot of different women, black, white, and Hispanic. You guys would be surprised how many white women I'm actually cool with, and how many white women dibble dabble in that lifestyle, but they're not looked at the same way as black women in that lifestyle. They're not looked at the same way. But with black women, black men will say, "Oh, you're selling ass," but they're out here buying the ass. That's what they're not telling you. And most of these men are tricks. You have to call them what they are. They offer up the money. Black, white, Hispanic, all of them. Asian, all of them. Indian, all of them. So if you think you're coming across these men that are not tricks, you would be slightly mistaken that some of you are married to a trick. He's just not tricking on you because you don't require it. You just lay down and give him a nut, because most of you are not getting a nut out the deal. You're not getting an orgasm. You're just not getting anything. So I hope that we be more compassionate to other black women, and before we speak about different things, that we do our research. Before you make your judgments on sex workers, you need to do your research. You need to understand that there's different levels of sex work. And usually when you get to walking the block, when you're a street walker out there on the block, most of the time you're down on your luck. Most of the time you may be addicted to drugs. You're down on your luck. You're an alcoholic. You're homeless. Those are the women that you usually see that's out there walking the streets. That's not all sex workers. So understand the different levels to it. If you don't want to understand it, I understand. But don't pass judgment on something you don't know nothing about. It doesn't cost you to ask somebody who's been a part of that lifestyle. And I want those women to be welcome on my channel, because I know they're in the clouds. But they're scared to drop out of the clouds because you have these uppity bitches who have sex just to have sex, just for a nut or some kind of companionship or whatever. But love don't pay no bills. Just remember that. You can love a man all day long. If he ain't giving you money, them bills ain't gonna get paid. You're gonna still have to get out there and work. All right? So either you love a man just because you want to love him, or you get something out of it. Because the men are gonna get something out of you. Men are going to get something out of the deal. Now, that's up to you if you want to get something out of it. I don't know. But I hope that every black woman be safe, regardless if she's on the vanilla side or if she's on the dark side. I love you. I support you. If there's a way out, I hope that you get a way out. But if you're content with where you are, I just hope that you stay safe and love on each other. Love on each other because I want to be welcoming to everybody on my channel. I don't want people to feel like I'm so uppity or I'm so like perfect that I can't relate or I don't know people that have did those things or I'm so perfect. No. No, we're not perfect. We're not perfect and it's okay. You can divest. There is a place in the divestment community for you sex workers who have changed your life around or who are currently still into the sex work business. If you want to divest, you can divest. It's always a place for you here on my channel. I just want to say that you don't have to be in the clouds. You can drop out of the clouds. Your experience matter. What you have to say is an important too. You can share it. Don't let people shun you and make you feel bad that you don't want to voice your opinion. Is in this community we need all the voices to be heard. Okay? We need all the voices to be heard. And you can divest also. And that's all I have to say. May Jasmine James rest in peace. Um, Looked like she lived a struggling life, mainly surrounded by a lot of black males. And being surrounded by these apes is not good for anybody. So I would advise everybody to divest away from the Black Male Collective, divest away from Blackistan, divest away from these mammies, these undercover mammies, and these fake divestors. Divest. Your journey is going to be your journey. Okay? Make it the best for you. Because at the end of the day, you are all that matters. Nobody else does. So put yourself first, love on yourself, be safe, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye.